So I'm going to continue this lesson on Matthew 13. We're talk on 40 till 42. Then, as the tars are gathered and consumed in the fire, so will be in the completion of this age. The Bnei of Adam will send forth his cherubim, and they will gather out of his kingdom all stumbling blocks and those who practice lawlessness, and they will throw them into the furnace of fire. There'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Here's what a lot of people don't understand on this. And if you take a look at this, repeats itself, because obviously if you take a look at Genesis 6, you'll see when it came to pass, Ha-Adam, the men multiplying on the face of the earth, their daughters are born unto them, to Adam, obviously, and the sons, or should I say, Vene or Bene of the Elohim saw them and went into them because they were so pretty. And Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh was like, you know what? I'm not going to struggle with Adam so much, because obviously the Elohim fell into the daughters and took them as wives. And it's like, I won't struggle with them. But however, their thoughts of wickedness and hatred were so great. And they had thoughts of evil in their hearts. So Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, even back then, was discussing how to bring judgment and stuff like that. Well, obviously we know today that the Shemo is Ehyeh, and that Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh was not above Ehyeh. And what else did we see? We saw that besides this, it talks about throwing the stumbling blocks in those who practice lawlessness. Now, practice lawlessness, what do we mean by that? That'll be thrown into the furnace of fire. Well, love your neighbor as yourself. But if somebody is your neighbor, Yeshua already discussed what a neighbor would do. There was the example of the Good Samaritan, where the priest helped, and then the priest didn't help. The priest watched him on the side of the road. The Samaritan helped him. Well, in this, what you're going to see, and how that correlates to this, is that the Samaritan was showing that he was a true neighbor, and love your neighbor. If they're not my neighbor, I don't have to love them. I don't have to help them. Obviously, there's going to be cherubim that are going to fight them and milchama them. Or maybe something sounds like cherubim or something like that. However, what you also have to understand is that, and this is discussed, is that there's no discussion on this. If they practice lawlessness, and you're like, what? How can somebody practice lawlessness? If you have way too many laws or takano, or Kabbalah or Masoret, it adds on and takes away from the original 10 Commandments. The original 10 Commandments were simple: don't steal. Well, how do they get around this stealing? We're going to do a video on that, and I'm going to expand more on how they steal from people or rob you of your wealth. What is recognized by your agreements with somebody, by in the mouth of two witnesses or whatnot, is, or recognized by the beret. Now, these 10 Commandments aren't completely accurate. There's probably some words that are messed up on this 10 Commandments. However, what's more important is that you understand and know that through all these types of manipulations, they create and do their lawlessness by ignoring the original 10 Commandments, which are so simple.